Welcome to the BobKast here at the Kokomo Post Sports. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, and the BobKats are coming off of a weekend where they won both of their games and looking to do the same things upcoming week. We'll definitely dive into the BobKats play on the basketball court later in the show. To my right, like always, is the head coach of the BobKats, Mr. Chandler Levingston Simon. Chandler, I'm loving the Dr. J Fro. I hope we get to see that later this weekend on the court.
Probably not.
No?
I'm not even lying. Probably not.
And to his right, it is Johnny Griffin Jr., longtime Bobcat, who also sang the national anthem over the weekend. Johnny, I knew you could sing, but I didn't know you could sing like that. You killed that anthem over the weekend.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I got some little vocals, a little bit.
So Chandler told me you could sing. Other players told me you could sing. So I've heard you on Instagram. You put a clip up recently, I think earlier this year, but then seeing it there in person. And I'm always a person where I see the national anthem, like who's singing. I look around the scores table, who's getting the mic, all that kind of stuff. I didn't see anybody waiting to sing. I didn't see anything. All of a sudden, I see the mic go to you. You walk to center court and start singing. Were you nervous for that moment?
I mean, I feel like singing the national anthem in front of all those people always get me a little nervous. But then once I get started, I kind of like settle in.
How long have you been singing?
I first found out I can really sing in like 6th grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like a church thing?
Nah, I ain't.
No?
I just used to, one of my friends, he used to have me sing to all the girls or whatever. It's because he heard me sing, and then that's how it jumped off.
Okay. Have you put an album out?
I'm working on an EP right now.
Okay.
So I'm trying to drop it on my birthday next month.
Ooh, okay. Chandler, do you have any hidden talents we don't know about? That you haven't mentioned on the show?
Not getting dunked on.
No, I don't know.
No.
I have no clue, to be honest with you, what I have told you and what I haven't.
I don't either.
I mean, we're in week, 10, 11?
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
A lot of stuff's come out in this time period. I have no idea. This past weekend, the Bobcats had 2 games, beat Glass City 144-126, then also beat West Virginia 128-111. The game on, I believe it was Saturday night, I believe that was West Virginia. Yeah. Johnny, was there a chip on y'all's shoulder? Were they poking y'all? Were y'all annoyed by something? Because the team seemed more amped up to play them than maybe other teams that I have seen. Were they like talking trash but pregame or something like that?
Well, it was something that went on the previous night when we went to a game to go see them. Mm-hmm. It was something the coach said, and the team kind of took that to heart, and we was like, okay, we're gonna show them what's up.
That could have been why. I think it was Plum hit a jumper, hit a 3, walked down the court, looked at the coach or somebody on the bench, and then ran back down. I kept seeing Akeem and other players being very animated on that side of the court. So I don't know. I was sitting there like, this just doesn't seem normal at all. Is that normal for other coaches to say things that get you guys amped up to play?
I mean, it wouldn't be smart. But in some cases, some coaches have said things and they haven't ended well for them. I say that.
Has that happened to you this year where coaches have talked a little bit too much trash?
Every coach kind of has pointed out things about what their team does or what your team does and different things like that. There's always just conversations back and forth, and a lot of it's just, friendly, banter or just, letting you know, hey, man, you need to work on that. Plus also, too, we send a lot of guys to each other and different things like that. So there's a lot of familiarity with a lot of guys in the league and a lot of guys in the conference.
How did you guys get in touch and meet each other? Because I've known Chandler's had a lot of connections with guys previously. How did you guys get in touch and meet each other throughout your lives, maybe BobKats or maybe previously?
Well, even though we kind of live maybe like 45 minutes from each other, mm-hmm. I didn't meet Chandler until I came here to play.
Okay.
When Coach Steve was alive, rest in peace, they held a Chicago tryout.
Okay.
And I seen it on Facebook, and I decided to go because it was 5 minutes from my crib, and I was trying to get back into playing, and that's how I ended up playing with the BobKats.
Yeah. Also, too, there's been a lot of, it's weird though, because there's been a lot of crossover, but we never really like cross paths like that.
That's interesting.
So like a lot of his teammates. So like because I know a lot of he played at Chicago State for a little bit.
Okay.
So a lot of his teammates that were there, I knew, just in passing or just like they were like friends.
Yeah.
So it's just been a lot of crossover with that.
That crossover thing, and I know that in basketball circles, there's crossover, and you may see a guy. I know people that I've seen where they're like, "Yeah, I didn't even know the guy was even there," but like, be at the same place or at the same court. Is that normal though for you guys up there in that part of the world, that part of the country, to where like there's a little crossover, but still, you still don't know guys, that you still don't meet people?
Yeah, I mean, Chicago's a big city.
Yeah,
so there's
true.
a good chance that you don't meet a lot of people, and then to you like, oh, such and such, this person, this person. And like, you're just like, oh, okay, so that's how you. So what's even wilder is after the first year we played together, at his coming home party, my cousin was there.
Oh.
Yeah, like they had known each other.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's just, random little things like that.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. What was it like, Johnny, when you got that call to be on the BobKats that first year you were a part of the team?
Well, once I got invited to come try out again, I made it through the first tryout.
Okay.
So I had got invited to come to the second tryout. I actually missed that because of a snowstorm.
Ooh.
It was like a real bad snowstorm.
Okay.
Where we got a lot of inches. But I texted Coach Steve like I won't be able to make it because of the storm. And he told me to come such and such date, and I was there. And after practice, I believe after that same day, they offered me a contract.
Because also we were looking for bigs too. So I remember the conversation because it happened right before, because we were 1-5 at the time.
So this was in the middle of the season, not at the beginning.
It was like
the first
couple games.
Okay.
It was like we played like 2 weekends. We played 5 games at that point.
Okay.
We're like 1-4, 1-5 or something like that. And then we started looking for bigs. And then I know Jawad spoke up about you.
I knew Jawad. So
Yeah.
Jawad, me and Jawad was at that tryout, and he actually got the training camp invite. Mm-hmm. And I got a chance. I was supposed to come to the other tryout to get the training camp invite, but he gave me Coach Steve's number.
Okay.
I was in contact with him. So.
Yeah, and he was really pushing for him. And then, like me and Jawad, I've known Jawad for a minute. Like I said, that's one of the crossovers because his little brother played with me in Valpo. So
You've had a lot of connections at
Jawad played with me
Valpo.
at Shot
and
State.
Jawad played with him at Chicago State.
That's crazy.
So shout out to Adekoyas.
That is crazy. How long have you been a part of the BobKats? I know it's been at least a couple years.
This is my third season.
Third season. Does it get easier to at least handle the professionalism from year 1 to year 2 to year 3?
I mean, it wasn't my first professional job, but I say each year has become easier and easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I did see. Now, correct myself. You played overseas
Yeah, I played in Slovakia for 2 years.
and won a championship.
Yeah, I won a championship my first year, and then we won a championship to move to the top league, and then I played in the top league the second year.
How did that help you out and grow as a basketball player?
It kind of helped me in a bunch of different ways. So in Slovakia, you only have a few people who can speak like broken English.
Ooh.
So I couldn't really communicate unless I learned the language a little bit.
Right.
So it kind of helped me in aspects of that. But as far as like playing, it was tough. It wasn't nothing to do but just go to the gym and eat and chill. I mean, we practiced twice a day, so all of my time was really going to that.
You played overseas too as well, correct?
Canada, Mexico.
How does that compare to American basketball?
I mean, Canada, it's basically the same thing.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie to you. But I will say Mexico, a little different.
Okay.
A little different, Definitely been. I played a couple games outside. Like
Wait, outside? Mm-hmm. Like playground outside?
So like the game will be professional, but they'll have what is it? You ever played NBA Street?
Yeah.
So like you remember what the dome that they used to have in Baltimore?
Yeah.
That's the way it looked.
It's kind of dope.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's kind of dope.
Yeah, the only thing that sucks is 110 degrees out.
Oh, bro.
I think that's how it was though in like Mexico, South America.
Okay.
A lot of the games be like that.
Because that AC bill, if they would have it inside, would be high. And if they don't have AC on the inside,
it's not bad. Like a lot of it's usually just like a few teams in the league play outside. It's not like it's like every single team, but there's a few teams that they pepper it in. Like, all right, we're gonna play this one. They play outside, and those games are hectic. And worst part is you can't drink the water, so you.
Oh yeah.
So if you didn't come prepared, you're down there just struggling, just drenched in sweat, just trying to recover.
Try to keep all the liquids you can.
Well, the wildest part too is afterward. They'll have a beer. Yeah, if you finish the game, have a beer
After the game.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing as
They crazy out there.
Yeah, and then no, I'm good. No, thank you. No, have a beer.
But see, now in certain cultures saying no is going to be really, really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I figured that out quickly.
It's like on Thanksgiving, your favorite aunt makes that one thing you don't want to eat, but she offers it to you and you say no. It's like, no, boy, you're going to eat that.
Yeah.
You have to eat that.
I mean, well, I don't necessarily, I can't confirm this, but I know some teams were owned by some unsavory characters.
I was waiting for someone to say it.
I was going to unsavory characters. We'll say that. How they got their money, I don't know. It's none of my business. But then that's no, have this beer. Come hang out. Have this conversation with me, man. I like the way you played.
Hey man, I'm not about that. I am not about that. No, because you mentioned that the savory characters and I'm thinking cartel too. I'd be a little nervous.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I've definitely been with some guys that no, I'm good, and they just kind of go about. And I've also been with some guys that fully on embrace it. There was a guy from Houston. Actually, this was probably the only other guy I know from Houston that played. He, we talked about that. I just thought about this.
Yeah.
He was the J.R. Smith of Mexico. As soon as the game ended, shirt was off. Shirt was off, and he's over there drinking all the, just drinking and having a good time with him. He's like, yeah, man, they want to take me to a party, man. They throwing a party for me. It was a quinceañera.
What?
Yeah, no, he knew what they were talking about. My thing is, you lived in Houston your whole life and never picked up on any Spanish at all.
That's a little suspect.
I mean,
You were in another country and you played in another country, but you had to learn the language. Do you know any other languages besides the English fluently?
I learned Spanish in high school and college, but I never really used it after that.
Okay.
So it's like, I wouldn't say I'm fluent, but I can I know the basics.
Okay.
But anything else, I don't remember because I haven't used it.
So basically, like you were going to a restaurant, you could order and use the language to order food.
Maybe. Depends.
Okay. Because I know when I go to certain restaurants, I like tacos, and so like if I go to I go to what was it, El Borrego around the corner. I want to know what they're saying, but I don't know Spanish.
Right.
And so it's like, my very limited knowledge about foreign languages. I took French. I even been to France. I can't speak a lick of French right now. I can't do it. And so like in those moments, even if I could speak a little bit, that's great, very helpful because it makes them feel more comfortable. But also, I don't know what they're saying. Maybe it's about me, maybe it's not. I'm just a little nosy. And I'm always curious about those situations, like if somebody could or not.
I'll probably just stick to the greetings.
Okay.
See, you said you spoke French. I was gonna say, man, we need to have Max on next week.
No, I said I don't speak French.
I know that's how first you said you learned French. I was like, oh, we need to have him on the next week.
We can have Max on next week.
Because they know that's his first language.
From Canada.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he was quiet the whole first time the first few weeks he got here, he was quiet because he had to kind of get introduced with English.
Oh, but they speak English in Canada.
Montreal. French.
Oh,
So it's Quebec.
Okay.
So French is his first language.
Okay.
Plus he's Haitian.
Oh. I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
What's it like being coached by Chandler this year?
It took a little bit getting adjusted to, from him being a player,
Really?
my teammate. But I feel like it's good. It's been going well this year. Yeah.
What's it like coaching him?
That's okay. Johnny's the master of messing with you even when he's not messing with you. So that's the thing. It's half the time is figuring out when Johnny's messing with you and when he's not.
I like to play a lot.
There's no change in his voice and when he's messing with you and when he's being serious. The only way you can tell is he'll hit you with a little laugh afterward.
That laugh.
It's the only way you can tell.
That'd be really annoying on the court. Like if you're playing against him and he's just like Johnny saying the same thing, like using the same tone.
Yeah.
But then just saying, you don't know if he's like saying something and just talking, like just to talk, or if he's talking trying to get under your skin. Like it can mess with your brain, and you can use that in games to mess with the opponent and being like, hey man, like, I don't know what you might say, but just that same tone all the time can mess with people's heads.
I mess with my opponents a lot. I mean, I feel like I'll be in their head most of the time.
Can you share with us something you might say if you were guarding Chandler in a game?
I was guarding Chandler, and let's just say they called a foul on me, and he at the free throw line. I'm gonna go stand right there with him until it's time for them to give him the ball. Then I'm gonna tell him to miss 2 of them for me. He gonna at least give me 1 of them. It work every time. So, you ever see me standing at the free throw line? That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, he's just talking to him.
Yeah.
And more times than not, he learns everybody's name on the team, so he could, all right, such and such, give me 1.
Or I give him a nickname.
Yeah.
You got one for him?
I just say Chan.
Okay. I've heard Chan. I've heard both of those here on the show. But
Yeah.
I like that game. I like the mind games that you can play with people. When I used to play pickup basketball, talk trash, it wasn't stuff like that. It would always be just more loud talking, and I would loudly say, you can't do this, you can't do that. But people knew I was talking trash, and they knew when I was just talking to them. Like a regular conversation in the game versus me talking trash in the game, they were different. That's a unique skill that I think a lot of people want to have but can't do. Just because, like, it's not normal. A lot of people, they can't have the same tone no matter what.
Yeah, my teammates, they tell me all the time, like, I should, like, use my voice or whatever. Like, they just say I got, like, a gift or something.
Yeah, they tell me you should do either voice acting or narrating.
Yeah, I'm here for that. I'm here for that.
You know, you weigh like $3,000 a month just like doing narrating for like Google.
Yeah, it's good money.
Something like crazy. Like if you just like Google narrating, whenever you like read books to people, it's like a thing.
Easy little side gig.
Yeah.
I might look into it.
Chandler, this upcoming week, there's a home game, I believe Friday, and away game on Saturday.
Yep.
Home against Cincinnati, on the road at Medora. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Those 2 games, I got the record of one being 6-14, the record of the other being 16-4. Medora's ahead of you guys right now, and you guys are standings. Kokomo's 3rd place, Medora's 2nd place. Looking back to this past weekend, there was a level of intensity that I saw that was a little bit different, more of a playoff intensity that the team currently had. Is that the same mindset that you think you're going to take into that as a coach in these next 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of dialed in for playoffs. I mean, at this point, it's all seeding. So, and seeding is pretty important at this as well, too, because you need, you want home court advantage. And, they say, Kokomo is one of the loudest gyms in the TBL. So we got more games in Kokomo. Best of luck to everybody else.
Yeah. I'm right there with that. Johnny, do you feel that the team is playing with a different intensity currently than what you guys played with early in the season?
Well, we know playoffs is coming up, and we want to be at our best.
Okay.
So, from now until playoffs, we've been kind of like focusing on like fixing like the little mistakes that we was making in the past. Because against good teams like Medora or Pontiac that's in our conference, we can't make those little mistakes if we want to beat them. And we know that. So we've been figuring things out.
So right now, Chandler, in the standing, St. Louis is 1. And I got a question about this here in a second. St. Louis is 1, Medora's 2, Kokomo's 3, Pontiac is 4, Derby City is 5. And you guys have a game against Derby City, I believe, next week?
Next Friday.
Next Friday. That's back last regular season home game.
Yeah.
How in the world do they only played 15 games and everybody else has played 18 or 19 or 20? You guys have played 20. Other people have played 20 or 18 or 19, and they've played 15. I don't know the scheduling. This is not me trying to take any shots at any teams. I'm really just curious about how there's a big gap between the amount of games St. Louis has played and the other teams in the top 5.
You're asking the right questions. Do I have the answers? No.
Okay.
But you're asking the right questions.
That's my job. Just trying to investigate, trying to figure this out. Because I even asked my wife, and I was looking at this last week. I was like, this doesn't make any sense.
If you get an answer, let me know.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I've asked this question myself.
Because I remember, I think there was a week y'all were supposed to play them, and y'all played Lebanon back-to-back. The day Plum was in here.
Yeah.
We talked about that. I was like, hey, man, like this was not on the schedule. I'm a little confused. How do we get to play Lebanon back-to-back days? And you went to Plum and talked about, hey, what's your thoughts about this?
Yeah.
And so I don't, like I said, I have no idea. I'm just curious.
There was something that happened that day, I guess. Couldn't tell you what happened. But they couldn't make it. And
Okay.
we filled in. And that's also why next week we're not playing Lebanon at Lebanon.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
that one, the game that we went, the game that we played back to back, one of those counted as that game that we have on the 23rd, I want to say. Yeah.
So there's just 2 games next week.
Yeah.
That Friday game and I think
Sunday.
Sunday's away.
Friday and Sunday.
Friday.
Sunday is at
Cincinnati.
Okay.
We got Cincinnati 2 times, I think, left.
Do you look at the standings throughout the season and know where everybody's falling? Like to know like where you guys are standing and like going towards the playoffs? Does that even matter to you or any other players on the team?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we look at it all the time. We know where we could be, and we know what we got to do to get to where we want to be.
Okay. I'm always curious about that because some guys don't care. Some guys just like, look, we're like, once you know you're in, at least the play-in portion of it, you're like, hey, whatever happens, happens. But if you know you have a shot to be number 1, maybe number 2, you're like, I may pay a little bit more attention. But for some guys, it might mess up their mentals and it might mess up their preparation for the game. But the more I watch this team play this year, there's a level of, what did I say to Big Fudge recently? I mentioned about a player being locked in. Everyone's locked in. Every single game, every single day. And I'm seeing it more this past weekend than previous weeks. Are there internal meetings, just like player-only meetings, to describe or discuss what needs to happen for you guys to make a push, a deep playoff run this year?
Well, we've had a couple, and a lot of us hang out together.
Yeah.
So we talk about it all the time. So we know what needs to be done, and the coaches know what needs to be done. They put us in a situation every day of practice to overcome what might happen in games. It's just they put us in the best situation to be prepared for what's going to happen, for what's to come. So, yeah.
I can see that just from on the outside, and even fans are seeing that, Chandler, about that this maybe feels a little bit different. And last year, my first time watching the BobKast, I was watching you and seeing you. I think you were assistant coach at the time when I got to watch more games. And I saw the push. I saw the exit, unfortunately, in the playoffs at that time. The game was actually in downtown Kokomo at Memorial. And I saw that push. And it seems like the newcomers fit in so well with what the mission is. And there's no bad apple. There's nobody trying to ruffle any feathers or be a cancer in the locker room. And that goes to you and Sam and everybody put this team together. But Chandler, what is your approach to the rest of the season?
I mean, we gotta just be dialed in and have focused the whole time. There's really nothing. I mean, every day we gotta approach that as okay, one more day we gotta get prepared for what we have coming. Because Cincinnati is a very good team. They're one of those teams that can get some guys up out of here. They'll definitely win some games. And then Medora, they're clearly number 2 for a reason at the moment.
Yeah.
And then we, it's just every game basically we're playing left is going to be a playoff team. So, I mean, that's really just been the thing. It's like we haven't really had a break in terms of our scheduling. Everybody, basically, we're going to play either a playoff team or has a shot at being a playoff team.
What is the playoff format for the TBL?
So it's top 6 make the playoffs.
Okay.
1 and 2 get a bye. 3 plays 6, and then 4 plays 5.
Okay.
And then the winner of 3-6, I believe, plays 2. And then the winner of 4-5 plays 1.
So the 3 through 6, that's just a one game?
1 game. So
And then it's a best of 3? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it's best of 3 all the way through the finals.
Okay. So once it gets to the finals, is there a one site that would be on? Or so it's still back and forth?
Yeah. So really, even if let's just say one of the East Coast teams plays against one of the West Coast teams in the finals, best of luck to you.
Yeah.
That's a lot of travel.
Yes.
But I mean, once you play those and you win out of your conference, then you play the regional. So the Midwest plays the winner of the East, and the West plays the winner of the Central.
Okay.
So everybody's got the same format up until that point, and then once they win, the winner of Midwest versus East and West versus Central will play each other.
You ready for that?
Yeah, definitely am. I mean, I'm definitely excited, and I'm ready to make this push for the playoffs. Take the team where we really haven't been before, and I'm hoping we can do it.
Last thing here for both of you here, and I was going to go back to the singing, but we're going to keep with this conversation. Johnny, what do you need to do personally as a player to help the team make a deep playoff run? I know we're not to the playoffs yet, but we're pushing towards there to make a deep playoff run and to bring a championship back to Kokomo.
Well, I feel like playing-wise, just keep doing what I'm doing, playing hard on both the offensive end and the defensive end. And with me being in this league for 3 years and playing overseas, just kind of being more of a leader. Like my energy, it can be my energy feeding off to everyone else, or it can just be me being a vocal leader. Like, I feel like that'll help us a lot in getting to where we want to be, making that championship run.
Chandler, what do you need to do as a head coach to make sure you're doing what's needed to lead the team in the right way to make that deep playoff run and to bring a championship back to Kokomo?
I mean, a lot of it is just making sure the guys are prepared for everything that could possibly arise. That's really what it is. It's, whether it be, calls that we don't like, something might happen seeding-wise that may not be favorable, whatever it is, we just got to be prepared and ready to go.
I really appreciate Johnny Griffin Jr., 3 years on the BobKats, coming on the show, and also the head coach of the BobKats, Chandler Levingston Simon, being here as well. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, and this has been the BobKast. We'll see you next time.